All right, guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of Two Fans, One Pod. My name is Alex, and as always, I have with me Brandon. We had, I would say we had a productive week. We've started exploring some new options for the show. Tinkering with some ChatGPT models, data models, and data schema that we want to use to be able to give you guys even better results than what we've been giving you using our gut. Okay? So
we're getting into the analytics,
yeah,
nitty gritty.
Love us or hate us, we're going to get you the right data. And it's going to be your responsibility to take that information and do with it what you will. Make some money with us. I want to quickly touch on the Penn State job hunt really quick.
Yes.
I've been hearing the media kind of push. Originally, I think the first thing I heard, I just want to say this real quick. The first thing I heard that the media really pushed as far as the narrative goes with James Franklin is like, oh, here's $50 million buyout that Penn State is now responsible for. And we've kind of dug a little deeper, and now sources, apparently there's a clause that's included that, you know, it's a mitigation clause, that's what they're calling it, and it helps you, when I say you, the program, Penn State, by mitigating some of their losses by forcing James Franklin to find another gig ASAP. So they have that going for them as well. I think that I think the media also pushed the narrative big time that like Matt Rule is the front runner and the obvious guy, and now we're seeing that, you know, actually no, Pat Kraft is willing to take a much bigger swing, and I think that's evident because they just repaid Curt Cignetti again, which leads me to believe that he's been reached out to, and that dollar amount is a specific one that was probably used to match. I just don't trust anything I hear in the media right now. I know that right now everyone is kind of leaning towards Matt Rule as the obvious candidate. And he's kind of, at first he didn't really dispel anything, and now he's kind of like shutting out all of the noise. So I don't know if I trust it. Who's really next in line? I'm hoping there's another couple of other big swings. I've heard Marcus Freeman in the list.
Yeah, you saw the Eli Drinkwitz as well.
Yeah,
that was another name that came up. I saw they were saying Brian Hartline from Ohio State, but I doubt that happens. I know Urban Meyer is definitely like a pipe dream for you guys. I don't know why. I feel like Matt Rule doesn't happen. I saw Curt Cignetti. He just re-signed with Indiana to like 2035, something insane. So that's yeah.
It's done.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see who they grab. John Summerall? Do they grab a guy like?
Do they grab an NFL guy? I don't know. Do they go to a higher? I don't know. I don't know what happens from here.
Should be interesting.
It's really,
interesting.
Pretty much as in the dark as possible for a viewer base, I would say.
Yeah, I saw James Franklin. There will be an interview, first exclusive interview since the firing, on College Game Day, I believe, like in the morning. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh God, be with us all.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I saw that the AD, he was basically saying like it wasn't a 3-game thing. It seems like the locker room was split up. Yeah, like I said on the pod, like the instant reaction. I do like the fact that they did it this early.
For the record, Can I just say, Please. The only people, for one, who are going to know the impact of the James Franklin firing are going to be the ones who have actually been following the program since he got hired. If you have been here from the beginning, and this was a long time coming, and for those people who say that this is crazy, he got fired mid-season, whatever. This is the new norm, is it not? I mean, in the era of NIL, I don't think anything is out of question. I mean,
and not just that. I mean, we just saw Curt Cignetti. He did what he did in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear.
Why do you need all this? Why does everybody else need all this time? Exactly. Yeah.
If you have enough money, you can produce. You just don't have the right people in power, and so you have a ton of talent. Yeah. Let's dive into the Big Ten. We have 10 million previews again for you guys, and if you guys have any requests on, if you want to see smaller games, bigger games only, if you want us to hone in on like the really big matchups of the week, let us know in the comments. But for now, we're going to go over kind of big and small matchups and the big Power 4 conferences. And we're going to start off with a very heavy hitter. And this one took a lot of. I mean, I spent a lot of time researching to this because it was a really difficult pick for me. Okay. USC at Notre Dame. This is a night game in South Bend.
Yep.
And Notre Dame
historic game.
I mean, this is a 9.5-point spread. That is a pretty gross spread for I would say a historic rivalry, right? Leonard Moore having a season, as expected, I would say. A lot of preseason hype with the secondary. Christian Gray as well is in that group. I mean, they've had struggles with depth, and it was evident through injury.
Yeah.
Leonard Moore has 3 interceptions, and it's really going to be Mekhi Lemon versus Leonard Moore, it feels like, almost. I think USC has really shown that they want to test your safeties. They want to throw deep, and no disrespect to Jeremiah Smith, but Mekhi Lemon is up there with like best wide receivers in the Big Ten.
Oh no, he's been one of the best in the country for sure this year, without a doubt.
Yeah. I would say specifically with the big play potential, Notre Dame has kind of been iffy. They're 60th right now in the country on allowing big plays specifically. That's the first thing I see. That's the first matchup. The second matchup I see is CJ Carr versus the USC secondary. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with Notre Dame's ability to get the ground game going. So, does USC stop Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price? Can you answer me that question? Realistically, it is impossible to know. I would say that this, as they do have a crazy good rush defense. I think it ranks in the top 25 in the country. But when we saw with Altmaier is like, even still with Illinois specifically, when they were able to shut down that run offense, and it's not like they shut it down, it was like a little less than 4 yards a carry. They did do a good job of tapering it down. But I mean, Altmaier threw for over 300 against them. So the secondary, even if they are able to stack the box properly against these two studs, are they still able to do enough that CJ Carr can't just bootleg and hit the play action, which is what Notre Dame's identity kind of has been this season. Jaden Greathouse might also be back this week, so even more addition to the wide receiver room over at Notre Dame. And it's not to say that USC secondary is not bad. Okay, that guy Bishop Fitzgerald. Really good safety. 5 interceptions. I mean, having a crazy season already. The big injuries, I think, worth noting. I know that Notre Dame lost their starting center, and he's been riddled with injuries throughout his career. Ashton Craig, really big guy. Their D-line, they lost Gabriel Rubio, which is a big hit. And Micah Gilbert, who's a wide receiver. Obviously, if Greathouse comes back, Notre Dame I don't think they're going to lose too much on offense. USC, they lost that D lineman Floyd Bouchard. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just think, I'm going to be honest. We saw the facts. We listened to all the numbers and everything. I think that Notre Dame's physicality at home and their ability to push the ball downfield, which was not something that was apparent last season, I think has opened up this offense to much more explosive plays. And we saw that against Arkansas. So because Notre Dame has been filling out their identity over the past few weeks, after having arguably the toughest 2 weeks to start the season, now that we see Texas A&M and now that we see Miami.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, they played the two toughest teams. They played the two toughest teams to start out. Sorry, continue.
I'm taking Notre Dame here to cover. I think Notre Dame this is going to be a tough matchup for USC. It doesn't play very well in the matchups that I laid out for USC. Notre Dame wins it by double digits.
Yeah, I just think Notre Dame is such a complete team. They got their tests out early on in the season. Like you said, Texas A&M and Miami are both like still undefeated. Both look like some of the best teams in the country, and they are. CJ Carr looks great, and I think he has a chance to tear up this USC defense. I think the USC looked great in the game against Michigan, but that game just kind of felt like Michigan beat themselves. I mean, the defensive formations they were using against that USC offense, it just didn't make sense to me. You saw like a bunch of guys in the box when they were like in an empty spread, empty base formation. So I think Notre Dame's defense is going to be, their secondary is going to be more on top of things against that offense. So I do like the Notre Dame spread here, the 9.5, even though it is a pretty big number.
It's a big number. And it's a rivalry, so we're going to be sweating it. I mean, don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
But
it's in Notre Dame. I mean, the season's on the line here for Notre Dame, is it not?
Yes.
This is like huge game for both programs. I think a lot of people thought the Michigan game was big for USC, and it was. But this is the biggest matchup that I can remember in quite some time. I mean, both years that Caleb Williams was there, like they weren't even in contention for the playoffs.
Dude,
this
is
game is
Lincoln
Riley's biggest test. This is going to be insane. Yeah,
it's a fun game every year. You know they're talking about getting rid of this game next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's crazy. How could you get rid of this game? The story, like legacy behind this matchup. All right, kind of scared that we're both rocking the heavy favorite, but hey, it's a rivalry game, so just saying.
I do like the under.
I think. Actually, secretly, very good pick. I like the under too as well.
Thank you, sir.
Heading off to another powerhouse matchup in the Big Ten, and I want.
Is it a powerhouse matchup?
Okay, hold on. I just want to explain why I think this is a powerhouse matchup. I think this is also going to be a big turning point for both of these programs as well. Hey, yes. we're on the second week in a row where Michigan's at another turning point. This is a little bit different. I want to explain the turning point that they're at now. The turning point to go into USC, to go into the Coliseum and beat USC using physicality and your identity of rushing downhill. It clearly did not work out the way you want it to, but that's not to say that identity is not going to work out for you going forward. I think Michigan is very intent. It has become apparent that they've become very intent on just being the stronger, the scarier, the more intense team. That's kind of like what they've kind of fallen their identity into, right?
Beat you in the trenches.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want you to play their game. They want you to play, gut running football, and they want to outmuscle you. And it looked like in that first half they were able to get USC to play that game. But again, halftime adjustments, USC came out lights out in the second half and kind of put it away against Michigan. Washington coming to Michigan now. Michigan is 5.5-point favorites. It's a noon kickoff. Let's take a look at some of these key matchups, okay? I'm looking at three big things here, okay? Washington, they have a shifty quarterback. They have a dual threat quarterback, okay? I think Damon Williams has proven that he is a scary quarterback. He can beat you on the ground. He can beat you with his arm. He's a true dual threat. Now, this guy, Jonah Coleman, also, Washington running back, is a beast, and he's currently kind of underutilized a little bit. The first question I have for them is, can they use a true balanced attack? Can they not have to rely on Damon Williams to be able to win this game on the road? Because if that is the case, it's just not going to happen against Michigan in the Big House. It's just not. Now, can Michigan continue to force the identity that they want and kind of force Washington into their own game? That's what they want to do. Are they able to do that? Washington does have, for the record, a top 10 rush defense. They did give up over 4 yards per carry against OSU, and Ohio State just kind of ran away with it at some point. The points is not necessarily as bad as that game was. Justice Haynes, I know, is questionable, so if he doesn't play, obviously the run game becomes a lot harder, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But more importantly, if they can't get that rush game going, Brandon, how is Bryce Underwood going to play? If they don't get it going.
This game's going to be interesting. Game's going to be interesting.
Talk to me about Andrew Marsh. Talk to me about this offense. How do they really attack this Washington defense?
I mean, Justice Haynes has to do what he does. He got hurt last game, so that was a big loss. I don't think he played at all in the second half. Yeah, he was out early on in the first half. Didn't come back. And I think Michigan kind of did try to force their hand a bit with the Bryce Underwood play. He definitely looked like a freshman out there a lot of the time. I think they're kind of getting in that rhythm of figuring out who their guys are on offense. At this point, they should know who they are, which is it's McCulley, their tight ends, Justice Haynes, Jordan Marshall. So You got to utilize them in this game. I think what's really scaring me in this game is, like you mentioned, Damon Williams is a dual threat quarterback, and they don't play well against those. We saw it in the game against Oklahoma. When they were, Oklahoma was depending on the run very heavily, and they used that to open up the passing game for John Mateer. I think Washington has done a great job all year moving the ball down the field against tough defenses. We saw it against Ohio State. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Washington's offense nonstop. I mean, the offensive output the past 3 games has really been, something that people need to take note of. They have a great running back, like you mentioned. They have a great quarterback, great wide receiver room. The one thing that Michigan does have going for them is they are they're a stronger, more physical. Like we were saying, they should be able to win in the trenches, and this is a home game. If they play their brand of football, which is kind of what they control. You have to control the time of possession against this team because Washington can score fast, which is fine. But as long as you control the time of possession, play your brand of football, I think they should be able to win. But I'm not going to lie, I am worried about this game a lot. Washington's legit. I really do feel that way. At one point, Jonah Coleman going into the game against Ohio State, I believe he was leading the country in rushing yards. So, they got guys over there. They're a very legit program.
Are you rocking
Michigan
with the
season,
blue?
Why'd you have to do that?
You can abstain for the record.
What I will say is I think that it should be a close game. I do think it goes under the total points. It's going to go down to the wire. I probably would lean on the Washington spread. I believe it's at 3.5, 4.5?
5.5.
5.5. Yeah, then I'm probably leaning on the Washington spread for this game. Michigan
minus 5.5. Go blue.
They haven't showed me the ability to run away with
Michigan
the lead at all.
minus 5.5.
So
go blue.
Another thing is Sharon Moore's job is on the line here. I really do believe that because if you lose this game,
Michigan minus 5.5.
All right, go ahead.
Go blue.
Ahead.
That's it. There's nothing.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's just like you said. You control the game flow. You control the game. I mean, you were worried about Wisconsin really bad, weren't you?
I was.
You were sweating that game, and they were sweating it too. But they played their brand of football, and look at the outcome. And it was in the big
Wisconsin had a third-string quarterback.
Understood, but Wisconsin came to play that game. That first half, they slice and dice with the play calling. Right. They came in with a mission, and they couldn't close out that game. But that's because Michigan forced them into their brand of football and just absolutely destroyed them. Destroyed their will.
Just play
your game. Michigan will control the tempo here. They will control that offense. The offensive line is going to win in the trenches. And as long as Justice Haynes plays, I'm taking Michigan minus 5.5. As long as Justice Haynes plays.
They need to stop that because they're not good against a quarterback. I'm really worried about the defensive play. We'll see.
I'm not going to lie to you.
He's got to bounce back. He knows the eyes are on.
I am nervous if Justice Haynes doesn't play, but even still, I'm still leaning Michigan minus 5.5. I'm still going to take him.
If Sharon Moore loses this, then he loses Ohio State. He's gone.
No, I mean, he's
gone.
He's not losing to Ohio State. Okay. Penn State at Iowa. We'll do a couple of speed round ones. Real quick, Penn State, Iowa. This game is going to be ugly as all hell. Ethan Grunkmeyer making his first career start for the Nittany Lions on the road at Kinnick Stadium. I think the over-under is at 38.5. Might even be lower at this point. If I were you, take the under, for the record. I am abstaining from this, obviously, but I will say that Penn State's talent is a complete mismatch on both sides of the ball here.
Penn State, man.
It's just going to be.
We are.
It's going to be a tough one to watch. I think Penn State's going to take this. I mean, Iowa's going to do what they do, and they're going to pound the rock, and they're going to try to continue to pound the rock against this D line because it has been exposed for the most part against the run game for the past couple of games here. So we'll see how Penn State decides to deal with that. I'm abstaining. Do you have a pick for that one?
Penn State.
Penn
by
State
a million.
+3.
I don't give a damn. The hype is they're gonna rally. They're gonna rally. Troops are gonna rally.
Maryland at UCLA. Nico Iamaleava, 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
He does.
I am leaning Maryland this game just because I think that UCLA has done an excellent job on transforming this offense, but Maryland has been excellent on both sides of the ball on third down specifically. And I think those third and longs that Nico has been able to finagle the past couple of weeks against, suspect defenses, I think he's going to really struggle against this Maryland defense. I take Maryland +3. I like a close game.
Yeah, I like Maryland a lot here. You know, I love this program. I think the Maryland defense, I think this is the toughest defense that they've played.
It's tough to put money against Maryland, for the record. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something about that
it
team.
is. I think I've rode with them like every week
I think
this year so far.
Low-key, that's your wagon.
But did you hear what I said? The toughest defense they've played this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A very good chance this is we don't have to talk about, I would say mentally will be the toughest defense they're going to play this year.
Yeah.
But on paper, probably not. That defense does look really good, especially on third down.
They do. No, Maryland looks like a really good program. My thing with them all year is just that they're really young, but they have a lot of talent. They've produced.
They need to close games.
They've competed in every game, and they've had exactly.
They just need to close games. They have how many one-possession losses they have this season? It's a tragedy. All of them. The answer is all of them.
Yeah, both of their losses.
Okay, we're gonna head over to SEC.
Do it.
Because dude. I mean, I'm telling you, these matchups are disgusting. It's tough. I mean, I have pages and pages of just the ink in my pen. LSU at Vanderbilt. Good God. What is this matchup, man? 10 years ago, this matchup was a 10-0 matchup. This was like, why are we even spending time? I mean, to see what Vanderbilt has done to their own program. I mean, this is a top 20 matchup. Also, where did all the LSU fanboys go in our comment section?
They disappeared.
Remember when we were getting all that hate from LSU people being like, you don't know about
we're talking about Brian Kelly, and we're just talking shop. We're just talking ball. We didn't even say anything crazy.
Where'd you guys go? We miss you. You guys had one loss, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it's okay. It's just Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a great team, right?
You know what they're doing? They're all together looking for Brian Kelly's replacement.
That's what it is. Oh, God, dude. Could you imagine? I mean, if he has another... Anyway, we'll see how this weekend plays out. Let's talk about this game specifically. Over under at 48.5. Still a good amount of points, especially for that LSU defense. I was a little bit surprised at that. Usually LSU... Have they scored over 13 points yet? I think the stat was... I think the stat was 13 points up until that Ole Miss game. I think they did... But if you take out that Ole Miss game, I think they've only scored... up to 13 points on offense specifically, because they've had a number of pick sixes that have gotten them points on the board. And it's no knock to this defense. This defense is absurd. It's a top 10 defense in the country. Mm-hmm. And to think how they've shifted, especially in this college landscape, like they used to, I mean, last year, they were like bottom 25%. Now they're in the top 10 in the country. It's absurd. I have two big matchups here that I honed in on. It's that Vanderbilt run game versus the LSU run defense, because that's what caused Alabama problems when they played Alabama. I think Vanderbilt, because they're coming off a bye, you got a lot of fresh legs. They've been prepping for this game for 2 weeks now. We saw what LSU did against Sellers, who's kind of that mobile quarterback. I know you can't really compare Diego Pavia and Lenora Sellers, two completely different styles of play, but LSU did a really good job shutting down Sellers. They did a really poor job of stopping Chambliss, though. So I think they showed some weak points in that Ole Miss game, especially. I will also say that because of Diego Pavia's ability to cause a havoc with his legs, which I did not know was possible, they were on track to go up by 2 touchdowns against Alabama, and they fumbled in the red zone. I don't know if you remember this.
Yep.
They had full control of that game until that fumble, and then all of a sudden it was the Bama
And then he
show.
threw a pick as well, right?
Yeah, threw a pick in the red zone later in the game.
Yep.
So
Vandy looks good.
Vandy looks good. They made mistakes. They were on the road. It was a very high tension environment. Obviously, all the cameras were on them. Everyone was watching. They wanted, he talked all that shit. You better back it up.
Yeah.
What's going on with LSU?
For this game, I don't know. Nuss, he's got to take better care of the football. I do think he started the season. He was hurt.
Dude, Nuss does not look good. This guy was throwing for 400, 500 yards a game last year. What is happening?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. This LSU team is very interesting. They haven't showed up in any big time games really yet. I mean, the Clemson, I haven't seen anything impressive from them. I've seen some impressive play from Vanderbilt. Now Vanderbilt being the favorite, that is interesting.
It is really
I do
interesting.
understand it though. I do understand it for sure. I mean, it's at home.
You got to give respect.
You got to give respect at a certain point, and I mean they've played great. For this game, I'm leaning on the over though. I think that this is a great matchup for LSU to like kind of get in a groove a bit, especially before that A&M game. I hope they're taking Vanderbilt seriously. They should be. I do think Vanderbilt wins this game though.
Do they cover? Just out of curiosity, you can get it down to like 1.5 points. I think honestly.
Yeah, they cover.
Yeah. I'm with you on Vandy. I don't have enough trust right now in Nussmeier to be able to put money on LSU. I mean, he could prove me wrong this week and throw over 600 yards.
I think LSU's plate is just much more full than they were expecting it to be. Yeah. I think they're not as prepared as they want it to be. The defense
they got the run game
though,
going last week, but this is
see.
like, I mean, we're talking about a South Carolina team that hasn't been necessarily great this year against the run. I mean, just the way LSU had to handle that South Carolina team and the way that Vanderbilt went into South Carolina and very much handled when they were peaking a little bit too early in the season. So, I don't know. I'm leaning Vanderbilt. I'm glad we're both on that. I like that. I like Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
Ole Miss at Georgia. This might be the big
Georgia.
God, I love Georgia football. I love Georgia football. I hate to say it, but my goodness. Dude, watching this team, they also have created that identity for themselves of like, we probably have less talent than you, but we're going to do everything in our power to beat you, Mm-hmm. And that kind of leans into my first question for this game is like, how is Kirby Smart going to portray this game to his team? Because right now they're 7.5 point dogs, 8.5 on some sites. Like, how is he portraying this to his team? I think he's going to do a really good job of, kind of building that mentality of like, people are talking shit about us. They're not saying that we're the best.
They're not taking us legit. They're not
taking us legit. Historically, Georgia obliterates Ole Miss in Athens, for the record. Every time I say this on the pod, by the way, it's such a jinx. But I'm just saying, Georgia, historically, it has not looked good in Athens, okay? Both teams are also in the top 10. I think this is kind of a turning point for both of the teams.
Oh, for both programs, yeah.
This
is huge.
Yeah. Does Lane Kiffin does he walk away with a win here? It would be absurd for that program. This is like the major turning point. On the other side, Georgia solidifies themselves as the gauntlet in the SEC. Can Georgia?
I'm so excited.
I got two more quick things. Can Georgia contain Chambliss?
Yeah.
Who has been able to do that yet? And I don't say Washington State because they didn't give a shit about that game. They're definitely planning 2 weeks in advance. They looked really bad last week. I don't want to. I know that people are honing in on it. Or like, oh yeah, they looked awful. Joe Klatt rode off Ole Miss. They dropped him out of the top 10. LSU did struggle pretty hard against Chambliss. I think that even the elite defenses are going to struggle against him. The over-under is at 54.5. That makes more sense now because they feel like there might be more points in this game. And then lastly is, will Ole Miss stop Georgia from imposing their will at the line of scrimmage? That's the big key here because if they win at the line of scrimmage, they control the ball, just like we've talked about this. And if you control possession, you control the game. Ole Miss right now is 77th against the rush and is giving almost 5 yards per carry, which is 109th in the country.
It's going to be a shootout.
I think
I really do think so.
I even if it is a shootout, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Georgia covers the spread handily. I see Georgia double-digit win here. I think because of the way that Kirby will portray this team, this game to his team, I think they're going to really bust ass in this game and want to prove something to the public.
Yeah, I'm going to have to fade.
I mean, you're a Lane Kiffin guy.
Here. I'm a Lane Kiffin guy. No, I know you don't want to hear it.
I know.
I just think that, I do understand where you're coming from with the whole Kirby Smart. Is like, how he's going to present this game and this opportunity to his team. But I think Lane Kiffin is going to do the same thing. And like you were saying, were they not prepping for this game for 2 weeks in a row now?
2 weeks, for sure.
2 weeks in a row, for sure. Another thing to keep note of, though, is Austin Simmons was not on the injury report. So, and he was for all the prior
They're starting
weeks.
Chambliss, bro.
They're gonna start Chambliss.
They're gonna start him. But I mean,
More
it'll
than
be
likely.
nice for a change of pace. If Chambliss doesn't get things going, maybe they
because
throw
Chambliss did have kind of a smelly game last week, and he even said so. But I think he's gonna bounce back.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Simmons, the one drive that he had last season was against Georgia in that game, wasn't it?
It was against Georgia, yeah.
And he drove down the field.
To turn some heads.
Remember?
Yep. And that game was a good game too. I like Ole Miss in this. I think
it's in Oxford.
They know. I know.
That was in Oxford. I mean, it's a different game completely. I think
completely.
I mean, I like the pick. I think we should. I mean, I like that you're going against me.
I got to, man.
I know. We can't be together on all of them. That's
we can't
so
be.
Square.
Can't.
But no. Okay,
Come on.
That'll be a fun one to watch. Another massive game in the SEC. Tennessee coming to Bama. Tuscaloosa.
Tennessee coming to Bama.
Bama is 7.5-point favorites as of the time of the show. So we're talking Thursday the 16th. I got 3 big matchups that I question marked here. Ty Simpson, we already know he's a Heisman candidate. He's been playing out of his mind. He has solo carried this team on a number of occasions, specifically against Georgia and also against Missouri. Had a game-winning drive.
Yep.
I think because of the issues that Tennessee has right now in their secondary, he's going to feast. There's no question about it. I have seen the play calling be too good. They're going to expose that lack of depth due to injuries on the secondary. Yep. Ty Simpson's going to have a day. The second question I got is, how is that Alabama offensive line going to hold up against that terrifying Tennessee front seven? Averaging 4 sacks and 8 tackles for loss per game. Yeah. Absurd numbers. Video game numbers. They're 6th in the country in disruptive plays behind the line of scrimmage. Absurd.
Insane.
I think that Alabama plays better with Jam Miller. I think Alabama's rush offense obviously showed out last week. They showed how creative and how they're able to still run downhill. They have a good offensive line. It's Caden Proctor, right? That's the kid's name, who's like this hyper athletic guy. They got him in the freaking run game last week on a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and he ended up almost scoring a touchdown. So love that offensive line matchup. And then finally, who wins the turnover battle? Can I read you some disgusting numbers real quick?
Please.
Tennessee is averaging 1.6 giveaways a game. You know what's even crazier? They're averaging 2.2 takeaways a game. How does that even make sense? I mean,
that's insane.
It's absurd. And then on the other end, obviously Alabama playing much more disciplined football, averaging 0.3 giveaways a game, but they still have almost 2 takeaways a game. Their margin is significantly better than Tennessee. Turnover battle, winner Alabama. I see 1, 2, 3, Alabama. Roll Tide, -7.5. What do you got?
Yeah, Roll Tide here. They're in form, dude. They're in form. I really don't have much else to add.
7.5 is a bait. They want you to think that this is going to be a shootout. Joey Allegro is going to get touchdowns. Don't get me wrong. But
I think Bama's a superior team here. I think they're in form. Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in college football without a question. Jam Miller's been back for a couple weeks now.
I mean, without question, it's crazy.
Everything looks great.
There are some good quarterbacks. Fernando Mendoza.
I love Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson.
Sawyer Robertson.
I'm agreeing with you. I will agree with you.
Sawyer
Robertson. We'll have to have a talk about that one day. All right, let's. I'm gonna do a few matchups. There are some other crazy heavy hitters in the SEC, but let's kind of speed round these because we're going bananas on time here. Oklahoma at South Carolina, Lenora Sellers and Shane Beamer.
This is going to be fun.
I know. They just came off that rough loss to LSU. Yeah. LSU just kind of, I'm not going to lie to you, they beat them. They beat them real bad. And the score might not show that, but LSU won that game very handily. I think South Carolina right now is kind of, I don't want to say they're in a free fall because they're not. They're just kind of lower than the expectations we had on them. But I think this is kind of a do or die point, right? For Shane Beamer. I mean, they don't have anything to lose here. This is a 5.5-point dog against an Oklahoma team that looked really sus with a guy who has a freaking screw the size of his forearm going through his palm. Are we not concerned at all that Oklahoma is not going to be able to also produce when you have defensive studs like Dylan Stewart disrupting that offensive line? You know, I'm riding with South Carolina here. For me, it's like, okay, cool. I mean, they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'm
This
running
is a
with South
scary
Carolina
team.
as well. They have not, like you were saying, they have nothing to lose. Their schedule going forward is insane. I think
It's
they know that.
absurd.
It's insane.
It's only going to
Alabama,
get
Ole Miss,
harder.
Texas A&M. That's the next three.
It's
So, I mean, I feel like Mateer's not ready yet. I mean, just off the performance that he had against Texas, I think he's still recovering. They shouldn't have rushed that. And I do like South Carolina's mentality going into this week. I mean, they've had some tough losses. It's been a very South Carolina season. I feel like, you know what I mean? Very similar to last season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shane,
we'll see. This is going to be a big test for them. Even though they just played LSU and that was a big test for them as well. But
yeah,
big bounce back opportunity for Lenore Sellers with the gang here. So yeah, I like them.
They really it felt like LSU was almost struggling to close out that game against South Carolina, but they took care of business. I mean, they stifled Lenore Sellers, and he needs a bounce back game. So I like that. I like that a lot. A&M at Arkansas plus 7.5.
Yeah,
Arkansas. Bobby Petrino. I think he's coming back home. A&M is on a tear. I'm taking A&M here, no problem. I think Bobby Petrino was able to keep a close game last week on the road at Tennessee, gave Tennessee a scare, but really scored a ton of points in the fourth as a crazy comeback. They were down by 17, I think, at some point. So I think Arkansas will keep this close, but at some point A&M will kind of slip away. Their third down defense right now is, I would
insane.
say, it's historical what they're doing. It's quite historic. So 3 games in a row, I think they've only allowed 1 third down conversion or 2, something like that. So pretty absurd numbers they're working with there in A&M. I trust that defense. I think they get it done on the road. I don't think Arkansas can be able to keep up with this defense.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Texas A&M, the past couple of games, they've started off slow, but then when that second half starts, I mean, they just go on them. Boom.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do here. They're just such a good team. That's really what it is. I think that the Arkansas team definitely has some juice in them with the Bobby Petrino being the interim head coach. I mean, we saw it with their most recent W. But, yeah, I gotta go with A&M here, man. Mario Craver, Le'Veon Moss.
It's two potent of an offense and 2 respectable of a defense. It's both sides of the ball.
20% conversion rate they have.
It's absurd what's happening right now at
insane.
A&M. All right, real quick, Missouri at Auburn. Low-key sleeper pick of the week for me. I love Auburn here, plus 1.5. I'm going to tell you why. Auburn was robbed last week. I think they're going to feel, even whether you agree or you disagree, they're going to feel that way. I think they're going to play that way. I think them at home, after starting with the schedule they had, and then also getting robbed against Georgia in a really heated, very emotional game, I think they come back here. Missouri right now, they feel like they kept it up to pace with Alabama, and they feel like they're still contenders. I'm literally having deja vu. This happened last year too. Missouri started off hot as hell and then just went to A&M, got destroyed, and then from there it was just bing, bang, bong, down the well. I really like Auburn here. I think Auburn's a secretly great play here. Yeah, what do you like?
Yeah, I like the Auburn play as well. I'm on a similar vibe as you, where it just feels like
it's too close. This just is a hyper emotional game where they felt like they were robbed, and you're playing at home again. It's at night too. Again,
it's at night.
There's no way. There's no.
The momentum's on their side.
Anyway, I don't want to say no way.
What's the split on that? The spread?
The spread is 1.5, plus 1.5 right now. Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Take 'em. Okay. Can we head over to the ACC?
Is it that time?
Let's do it. Big matchup Friday night. We get some early football. We love Friday night football.
We love early football.
Oh my God, I love Friday. For some reason, you and I are great on betting on Friday nights. I don't know what it is.
Friday nights we've been.
It's just that Friday night vibe.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's always a great start to the weekend. Doesn't always end as a great
No.
weekend.
It never does. It never does.
13.5 point underdogs. Louisville is visiting Miami. That's a rough line. That is a rough line to see. 2 big things I'm looking at here. Miller Moss is really running into the same struggles it feels like that he had at USC, and that's with turnovers specifically. My first question is for this Louisville team is Miller Moss going to play poised in the pocket? Because he's going to have to. Right now, I think Ruben Bain is in contention.
He's a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he's in contention for probably Defensive Player of the Year. Dude, they have a name for that, right, in college football?
They do. I don't remember.
I forgot
it off
what
the top
it
of
is.
my head, but they do.
The pass rush, I would say in general, even disregarding Ruben Bain, the edge is heavy right now on this Miami defense. So the question is, will Miller Moss make the correct reads, the correct decisions? They're going to have to get the short game going. Realistically, against this Miami defense, you got to get his confidence built up so that you can get some sort of run game RPO going. And that really leads into my next question: is can Louisville get the run game going? That's what it's going to take. Is if Miller Moss is going to play poise in the pocket, and is if they're going to get the run game. That's the only way they're going to get the upset.
They haven't been able to all year.
And they haven't been able to. Listen to this. Isaac Brown right now is averaging over 7 yards a carry. It's absurd. Take a second look at the numbers with me for a second here.
Yep.
In conference games, he is averaging a little over 3 yards per carry. Out of conference games, over 13 yards per carry. Guys, look at the numbers. They are getting stifled in these conference games, and this is going to be the toughest conference game they have this year.
Yeah,
Miami minus 13 and a half.
And they don't give Isaac Brown a lot of carries too. They have I believe they have kind of a committee, which is great, but I just think that's kind of makes it even tougher for you to get going against this Miami team. I mean, their defense.
It's the 10th ranked rush defense.
I mean, it might be the best defense in the country. Like, honestly, the way that they've been playing, the stops that they've been making. Because the offense is great, but I think that it's just been complementary football over there in Miami. They balance each other out so well. And Louisville's defense is not doing anything against Miami's offense. I feel like I could see a scenario where Miami does get the lead early on, and a lot of gas, and then in that second half there's some hiccups here and there.
Yeah, I could see that too.
100%, because Miami does kind of have a history of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope that for Miami, they're not in the mentality where they got their toughest games out the way, and now they kind of can just skate by. Because that's not the case.
They're their own, they're their own
it's up
opponent right now, right? I mean, it's
so. With all that being said, I'm gonna go Louisville spread.
Just a fun fact, since you decided to include that little tidbit of fun. Fun fact of the day is Louisville is top 20 in sacks allowed on the quarterback this season. Mm-hmm. And that includes 5 sacks that UVA had on him last week. And they're going against Ruben Bain. Okay, all right, understood.
That's fine.
Understood. Louisville. Taking Miami.
Come on. Little mouse.
Okay, Georgia Tech at Duke. This is kind of a funky matchup. I'm not going to lie to you here. When I think Georgia Tech, I think Haynes King. And I've seen Haynes King. I've seen him perform. And when I told myself, what do I think that this game is going to be? I thought it was a 3-point spread. I thought this is a Georgia Tech, 2.5 point. That's what I expected Vegas. It was the opposite direction. Duke came out as the 2.5 point favorite here.
Yeah.
Their front seven has been terrific, with the exception of Illinois, because we watched that game from start to finish, and we know what happened to that front seven. Got obliterated. I think that I'm not even gonna let's take away the numbers and Darian Mensah playing out of his mind and Haynes King also. This could be a shootout, high scoring game. Realistically, I think Duke being favored here it's not right. I think Duke is not the correct favored team here. I think Georgia Tech has proven, especially in big games, is when Haynes King plays his best. As an underdog on the road, I am not putting money against Haynes King. I am so sorry. Give me Georgia Tech plus 1.5.
I hear what you're saying, for sure. I will say that Duke has come into form since the start of the season.
Against who? Who have they come into form against? Because when I watched them against Tulane, when I watched them against Illinois,
and Syracuse.
Cal. Oh, and Syracuse without their starting quarterback. Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's really great. They're really
some good performances.
Put money on Duke.
Man.
Put money on Duke.
No. I didn't. You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish.
Put money on Duke.
But I do think that Georgia Tech, they've just their identity. They're just so much more committed to it. And they're so consistent of a team in terms of the way they play, the players that they have, just the program in general. But I don't know, man. This is in Durham. So
was
it's
Illinois.
Going to be a tough ACC.
When Illinois came.
It is. That's correct.
I'm telling you this anyway.
You're telling me?
No,
You're positive?
Listen. I know all of the Duke fans that we have are going to come at me, and I am so sorry. But Manny Diaz has not proven himself to be a good
you mean
head
the future
coach.
Head coach of Penn State?
Don't you dare! We saw how the experiment with Manny Diaz went in Miami, and now his experiment with Duke. This is his second season, and it's already shaping up to be another mediocre one. So
we'll go with Georgia Tech.
Let's hope Duke fans come at me. I hope Duke wins, and everyone comes at me in the comments, and they're like, "Oh, this aged well." People love doing that, by the way. So anyway,
love that hindsight.
They love that hindsight. Yeah, of course. Put your pick up, my guy. Yeah, we're Georgia Tech fans. We're Haynes King fans here. It's my favorite quarterback.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
Sorry.
Big 12 matchups. We got 4 of them. 2 speed round at the end. Texas Tech at ASU. I think for the sake of this conversation, let's assume Sam Leavitt is playing.
I was gonna say yeah.
And knowing that, what are you going with this game?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech wins this game. I saw the 7.5 point spread, and I was like, wait, so Sam Leavitt is or isn't playing? I'm confused.
It opened at 10.5.
Okay, all right, that's what I was gonna say. Texas Tech right now is, I would say, the most exciting team in college football to watch. That guy Will Hammond. Backup quarterback comes in, still finds a way to handily destroy teams like Kansas and on the road at Utah. So we're already seeing that depth is not an issue at this team. They clearly paid the high end for all these players. Jacob Rodriguez, my favorite linebacker currently in the league too. This guy, wherever the ball is on the field, he's there. I guarantee you, number 17 is going to be there. I love this team. They are my wagon. I already put money on them to win a national championship. Come at me in the comments. Do it. This team is going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're going to go into the playoffs. I think they are on a one-way highway to the Big 12 championship game.
They are.
And people should be scared. If Baron Morton comes back, and he will.
This team is so good, dude. Like, it's just...
I love the story of Arizona State.
I've never been so excited watching a defense. Their defense is so exciting to watch.
Dude, join the club. Welcome. Welcome to the dark side, bro.
Yeah. He knows that I'm an offensive guy. Like, that's what gets me going. So, but like Texas Tech defense, they're just flying all over the place. They're so much fun to watch. Texas Tech, man.
I love
Sam
Texas
Leavitt
Tech
plays
here.
or not.
Sam Leavitt, I do, and Sam Leavitt, for the record, if he wants,
call me a square, call me whatever. Texas Tech, man.
Yeah, I mean this game is like, I know this is really like a do or die a little bit for Arizona State. They need to prove that they're in contention for Big 12 title and all that good stuff. But this team has not really, they haven't shown consistent. And Sam Leavitt can prove me wrong, but they have not shown consistency
really
in quarterback play for me to fully trust Sam Leavitt at home. Love Texas Tech here. Big Texas Tech fan, the show. The Holy War. Big one.
Holy War.
Big one. This game has just as much emotion, for the record, to those of you who do not watch this game and have not had the pleasure to sit down and watch this thing from start to finish. There is as much intensity and physicality in this game as the Ohio State-Michigan game, and that is, I'm telling you right now, there's no question. No. The amount of emotion that is in this game is comparable to the biggest college football rivalries that exist right now in the sport to this day. Watch this game. Everyone needs to go watch this game. Last year in Rice-Eccles was a nail-biter. Loved that game. BYU obviously was, I think they were undefeated at the time. Maybe they had one loss, something like that. Utah kept it close. Listen, I think, like, matchup to matchup, they look so similar, don't they? Both of these teams are so similar. It's scary.
I mean, they're two Big 12 teams. They're very...
They got dual-threat quarterbacks who are really good at running the ball. It just so happens that BYU's a little bit younger. Devin Dampier has a little bit more experience in a second program now too. My question really becomes is like, whose rushing attack is going to take over this game? That's what this game comes down to. I love Utah. You know me, Devin Dampier. I'm playing them in our franchise league right now. We have with all of our friends. I love the program. Great offensive line play. I really, for me, when it comes to these specific types of games, Ohio State, Michigan, I wanted to do it this year for USC Notre Dame, and I hope that they prove me wrong because I am riding Notre Dame. But for these games, I generally like the home dogs. It's just what I like to go for. So I like BYU plus 3.5 just because of the nature of this game and how it plays out year over year. I know BYU has been playing great football, dominant on their run game, not necessarily need to be so dominant on the pass game. It's the same as Utah. They're not very good. I think they're like, bottom 40% in their pass game. It's like 200 yards a game on average they're getting. Utah's one big poor performance was against who? Texas Tech, one of the greatest teams in college football right now. And for the record, they kept that game competitive for the first 3.5 quarters. The fourth, they kind of ran away with it. Texas Tech did. So, also hearing rumors that Devin Dampier might not have been 100% for that game. They might have forced him. So, love the holy war aspect. I love the rivalry. I love the antics behind the scenes.
Yeah.
BYU plus 3.5. Rip it.
No, I'm going with Utah.
I know. I mean, it's tough. I want to take Utah here. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to take Utah.
I want to take Utah. With everything you said, for me, it's just one of those things where, like you said, the toughest person that they played was Texas Tech. Texas Tech, like you said so yourself, you think they have a shot at winning the national championship.
Easily.
Devin Dampier might have been hurt in that game. This is a rivalry game, so those are always up in the air, even though BYU is the home favorite, the home dogs. I just feel like Utah's it's just so up in the air this game as far as like the game's in Utah. The Utah fans are going to travel. So,
I mean, it is an in-state rivalry, so they're going to travel, but it's not in Rice-Eccles. It's a different vibe in Rice-Eccles. I will say that. I got two more speedy ones. Okay?
Let's rock and roll.
I've got Baylor at TCU. TCU is -3 right now.
I love both of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, this is the big.
I love both of these quarterbacks.
These are two
I love
very
Big 12 offensive play. It's just so fun to watch.
It's two very underrated Big 12 quarterbacks. There's too many teams that are at an elite level right now that are getting too much. Obviously, they have too much appeal. The names are too big. But the Big 12, these are two very underrated quarterbacks. I think Hoover's been playing excellent.
Yes.
He has some troubles with consistency and closing out games. And the second half especially. I don't know what happened. And Baylor, Sawyer Robertson, this guy has to carry this team because of this defense is so atrocious.
It's so bad.
I mean, it almost wants me to take every Baylor game. I just want to take the over because I know that defense is going to allow points and Sawyer Robertson's going to have to throw for 500 yards. So I'm actually going to take Baylor plus 3.
For sure.
Yeah, I like the in-state aspect to this game. I like Baylor this week.
I like Baylor this week. I think TCU's play is sloppier than Baylor, but Baylor's they're just not as kind of, I hate to use the word good, but they're just not as good as TCU, I feel like. For at least defensively, I think TCU is a sloppier defense. And I love Sawyer Robertson. And both of the games that they've lost was one of them was against Arizona State, 3-point loss, and then the first game of the season was their other loss where they played Auburn. That's a very tough, first game of the year. But yeah, I got Baylor here all the way, plus 3. Come on. Quick.
Like that one. I like the pick. Arizona at Houston. Houston's 1.5-point dogs right now at home.
That one.
This is a toss. This is a scary game to even take a pick
on.
Connor Weigman hosting Noah Fafita. I mean, those are two names I do not like putting money on either one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. Arizona has let me down more than once this season, and so has Houston.
I'm going with Houston.
And for that reason, I'm going to do one of these. I'm just going to do one of these. I'm going to wipe my hands clean of this game. I have no clue.
Can I do one of those? Am I allowed to do that too?
Yeah, of course. What's the over-under on this game? Whatever it is, probably take it. Maybe don't.
Which one?
I don't know. This game is funky, isn't it?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
like
I'm
it.
abstaining. I'm just gonna abstain. It's a good game. It should be exciting to watch for the record. But again, 2 quarterbacks I do not have a lot of trust in.
48.5.
Take the over. Take the over. For fun. Just for fun. Oh my God. Thank God. We are finally done. Holy moly. 45 matchups brought to you by... We're not sponsored yet, actually, so I can't say that statement yet. But if anyone wants to send us some, like...
to fill that...
Yeah,
exactly.
if you want to send us some gear, guys, like, I know, like, a lot of brands, Mountain Dew... That's just a brand that exists. Apple's another one. Could be cool. We're not shouting them out yet, but maybe one day, that'd be fun.
You gotta give it. Apple gotta cut the check if they want us to give them a shout out.
Of course. Is there anything else we missed? I feel like we covered everything. It was an excellent.
Deion Sanders is going to Florida State. Lane Kiffin's going to Florida. They said they're going to fire Billy Napier after the result this Sunday, regardless, apparently, of the circumstance, or whether they win, lose against Mississippi State. That's another thing to keep your eye on.
Is that true, or are you trolling us?
No. The Billy Napier thing, apparently, yeah, he's done on Sunday. Because they want to make the fire right after the game, and then they want to have the whole bye week to, like, I don't know.
Readjust, reassess. Gosh, yeah. That's so sad, actually.
Yeah, I like Billy Napier. I mean, I don't think,
I'm not a huge fan of him as a coach, but I'm never going to root for someone to lose their job or anything.
Of course, yeah. But Lane Kiffin's going to Florida right after he wins this game against Georgia.
Yeah, does Brian Kelly, does he stay at LSU if he finishes with another 8-win season?
This offseason is going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
It has potential to be. We got to see how the weeks play out.
Michigan State. James Franklin's going to Michigan State. That's my prediction.
Could see it. I could see it.
Right?
Yeah. It's a good program fit for him, actually. Let him go to UCLA. Why not?
Do you want to play UCLA going forward?
Yeah, of course. I think it's cool. Dude, you're never going to see USC-Michigan matchups. We get to see these every year now. Are you kidding me? Oregon, Penn State. When are you ever going to... That is an absurd matchup. I love that I was able to watch that in a whiteout under the lights, go to double overtime. Those kinds of matchups. I love the fact that we added those teams into the Big Ten. The only thing that it's hard to mitigate is the travel but these kids are traveling in freaking like limos in the sky. NIL
money, man.
Yeah, NIL's going crazy. Please, Penn State, hire a good head coach. Guys, it's been amazing. We love y'all. Peace. Until next time. See you on the Sunday after.